self-sabotage. Yes, getting out of your own way. Hey family, welcome back. Happy New Year. Today we're continuing on with our mini series Behind the Mask, and it's all about going behind the facade, going behind the surface, and really digging deep to unpack some of those things and deal with some of those behaviors and thought patterns that hold us back from going where we want to go in our purpose and on our journey and in life. So today we're going to continue with episode 2, and today we're talking about self-sabotage, getting out of your own way. And what better way to start the year with getting out of your own way? I'm no master at this. This is something that I'm intentionally been working on for 2020 and really trying to figure out, like, why am I getting in my way? I don't even have to worry about people. It's me, sis. It's you. Stop blaming the people, where you live, where you came from. It's you. Start where you are. Start with what you have in your hand. Start with what he showed you and just do it. Just do it. Sabotage. Self-sabotage is thought patterns or behaviors that hinder you or hold you back from what you want to do. So how do you know if you're self-sabotaging? Do you have thought patterns or behaviors that hold you back from really accomplishing your goals? If that's you, then this video is for you. Why am I self-sabotaging? And a lot of times it's that thought pattern, that those negative thought patterns that hinder us from where we want to go. And one of those things is maybe a lack of self-esteem. Maybe you feel like, okay, I don't have the education to do what I really want to do, or I don't have the resources, or all of these excuses that we make for why. And they might be valid reasons, but if there's a vision or a goal or something that God is giving you to do, we know that he will provide the resources. He will direct us to where we need to go. And all we really need to do is walk in obedience. So why are you self-sabotaging? Is it your thought patterns? Is your lack of self-esteem? Or maybe it's a behavior that is holding you back. And a big behavior that we all probably can relate to, whether it's now or in college or in the past, procrastination. That is yeah, I don't know. I'll go with y'all. Y'all got nothing to do. All right. I'm gonna put on some clothes right now. Okay. That is something that we have to get. We just gotta get rid of it. At the end of the day, like, you might have this whole long to-do list of things you have to do. You write it out pretty. You highlight it. You do all of these stuff. You organize it, and instead, you decide, I'm gonna go watch Netflix, or I'm gonna go out with my friends, knowing that I have a whole bunch of things that I need to do to really get where I want to go. And we gotta move that out the way. How do we stop self-sabotaging? I know a lot of people be telling you, oh, don't do this and don't do that, and this is not good and that's not good, but we never really talk about the process. So let's talk about it. How do we stop? And I feel like these are some of the things that you can start with. This is not limited to this list. Honestly, I want you to share even in the comment section below if you have any tips for how to stop self-sabotaging and some of the things that we can put in place to really be successful at not getting in our own way. So one of the things that I found is maybe writing a list of some of the behaviors or maybe the thought patterns that you have when it comes to not being able to accomplish your goals. Like, or maybe you don't think that you're in your own way. Maybe ask your close circle of friends around you, oh, why do you think I haven't accomplished this? Why do you think I'm not working on this? And you might get some insight from that group. Hopefully you have a group of friends around you that hold you accountable and that are transparent and honest so that you can grow. And they might be able to give you some insight on some of the traits or some of the things that they've noticed when it comes to really going after what you want to do. And then take it to God in prayer. Once you realize some of those things, or you can even pray about those things too. So if you have that relationship with God and you maybe can't identify those areas, begin to pray and ask Him to highlight those areas in your life and those behaviors, and submit it to Him. Bring it to His feet and ask Him to, to remove those things from you. So if it's a lack of self-esteem, and if it's procrastination or anything like that, God, ask Him to remove it. Please remove that from me. Give me the tools. Give me the wisdom to know how to deal with this. And He will do it. The next thing you can do, obviously, we said identify the behaviors. You can go to God in prayer. That's number 2. Find the root of those behaviors. So there's usually something going on before you start acting out of behavior. There's something going on inside or something that is connected to. So why am I doing these behaviors? That's a major thing that you would have to really unpack and find out why. Why don't I feel confident when it comes to going after these things and really getting to the root of that? And that will help you to kind of dig it up from the root. We're not going to cut off the stems of, the behaviors, which are kind of like the stems, but we're going to pull the root up and say, okay, that can't live here anymore. I'm pulling it up by the root so that it can no longer dwell or grow in this garden. We're not going to grow in this garden. We're only flourishing in this garden. Amen. Right? So after you identify the behaviors, you pray, you find the root of the behaviors, identify your triggers, right? There's certain things that might trigger you to act on a certain way. So maybe you're working at your goal, but then something happens and then you start to go into this self-sabotaging behavior, right? That mode where you're starting to do those things. So you've been on the trail. Maybe there's people that you've been on the trail and you've been working at whatever your desired goal is, but then something happens around you and it kind of causes you to then begin to self-sabotage yourself. So identifying what triggers you to go into those type of behaviors, right? So maybe it's something like you seeing somebody else accomplishing their goal, and maybe they live in the same town as you. So then you feel like, well, they just started doing it and now they are successful at it, so I don't need to do it because they live right in the same area as me.
I think that this is what he wants you to do, right? He might say, okay, I give you this business, I want you to do this, and this is for, to help better people or something like that. And it's like, well, I came from a broken home and I don't really come from a lot of money, so how am I going to do this? And then God is saying, well, I'm giving you this vision, I want to use you in this mighty way. Here is how I want you to do it. And then we have insecurities about, how am I going to do it? I need a team.
Really understanding, and I feel like if you go back to the other video where we were talking about identity, understanding who you are and what you were purposed to do, and declaring those things daily. So having a clear vision of what you want to do, and knowing that if God called you to it, He is qualifying you for it, and you don't have to worry about the other things. You don't have to worry about your insecurities. Remove those guys, and whatever, having tunnel vision and really just focusing on where He's sending you, and that will help. But also having accountability partners, having people that are close to you, mentors, spiritual leaders, somebody that's holding you accountable, that will keep you on the right path to be able to accomplish your goal is a major thing. So what are some of the things that you are doing to stop self-sabotaging? If you have any other suggestions, put it in the comment section below. Don't keep it to yourself. Let's heal together. Let's walk together. Let's go through that journey. So this year, we're getting out of our own way. Let's be intentional. Let's do what we got to do, and let's go.